Good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, August 25th, 2025, and the time is 6 p.m. And today is our regular meeting agenda. And Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Davis,
Here.
Kamal,
Here.
Kennard. Rogers is present. Laster,
Present.
McCarthy,
Excused.
and Piles.
Excused.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of the United States of America. Visible with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we are now at the acceptance of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the August 25th, 2025 meeting agenda as amended to add the property sale of 15303 Merriman Road.
Support.
It's been motioned by Laster, supported by Rogers. Any discussion? Roll call?
I'm sorry. Laster,
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Davis,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
Kennard. Motion is approved.
Thank you so much. We are now at the public comment. Seeing none, moving forward. We have no presentations tonight. Oh,
Well, I have a couple. One of the comments is we have 6 board members. I think in the rules and bylaws, they say we have 7. I've been looking through other school districts when they have a illness, long extended illness. The person has to resign, and you all have, their board has an alternate. It happened. I knew it was going to happen. When you elected officers and I think it was June, you had a tie. And I knew that was, I said, okay, now it's caught up with us. We can't keep cruising on 6. And I know it has to do with your policy and bylaws, so I'm asking we as resident, and we voted for 7 members. And I believe in showing sympathy where it's due, but it's extended. It's gone on 6 months. That's enough. Last thing I want to talk about is that we should think about why the bond didn't pass. And they gave 3 reasons. I was doing some research, librarian, I love that research. It says something about the indifference or being frightened of what the financial situation is. But also, the last one was the most interesting. When the constituency or the residents do not trust the board. And there's a lot of reasons why it has that feeling, Romulus residents. And I think you should think about that. No transparency. And I think Dr. Edmondson said it best when he returned February 13th, 2023, no accountability. When you don't have accountability, people look at that and they say, what's going on? Why no explanation of certain things that happen? And they should have been given an explanation. Why don't you join the bond committee, Rita? I'm not joining the bond committee because people were on there that I know that didn't really believe in it. And I know through my touching bases with people in Precinct 8, had already spoiled it because it was brought up a year before. It's going to bring up your taxes. Now they're sitting on the committee. And I know who they are. Don't mention no names. I don't have to do that. But I didn't join, and that was the reason, Dr. Edmondson. Thank you, and happy Monday.
The consent agenda.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the August 25th, 2025 consent agenda as presented. Matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine in nature by the Board of Education and will be acted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If any member of the board or any citizen requests discussion of an item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will become the first item of business under the report of the superintendent portion. A, approval of the minutes of the Board of Education, August 11th, 2025, regular meeting. Approval of the personnel actions as submitted by Human Resources Director Kevin Brock. Employment of Sierra Morin, science teacher at Romulus Middle School. Joselle Sanchez, special education, RHS. Savannah Bergiven, fourth grade teacher at WIC. And Katrina Vaughn, special education teacher at WIC. Any support?
It's been motioned by Rogers, supported by Kennard. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rogers is yes. Kennard? Yes. Davis?
Yes.
Kamal?
Yes.
And Laster?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you. We are now at the report of the superintendent, Dr. Edmondson.
Good evening, Board. I'm going to try to expedite this and get this done so that you all can get home in a timely fashion today. I know you're busy. Opening day tomorrow. Very excited. This is probably the first time that I've felt like we have almost all of our positions filled, almost all, that are filled, certified, people that are certified. Very excited about that. Appreciate Julie Gutman, our interim special ed director, for going out and really doing a good job getting special ed positions filled, because you all know what it has been like. Hats off to Kevin Brock and Tanya for all their help in making sure that these positions are filled. We talked about positions that are high priority, and we also talked about positions that needed to go. And I feel good in the direction that we're going, and I feel like we actually have almost all positions filled. Got a resignation today, though. I said, man, every time I get up here to say that, then somebody resigns. But it's part of the business. So I feel really good about where we are right now. That's as of today. Things in the month of August, as I told you before, they change, and they change quickly. Tomorrow's opening day. If you can attend, that would be great. But from 7 to 7, around 7:45, 7:50, we have coffee from Wendy Harmon. I forgot what her name of her business is. I'm sorry. She's a local business. I don't want to say the wrong thing. She's providing that. We're providing breakfast too for our staff, and then we're busy from about 8 to 11 with my part, with our central office, who will be presenting, and I will be representing the TLP, and I'll be representing the district in my role as superintendent. So I'm very excited. Usually tonight is a day that I'm just not going to be able to sleep well, so that's probably going to be the case, but I'll be there. I promise you I'll be bringing my energy level, my normal energy level, and I'm excited. Thank you. Wendy Harmon's is called Harmon Grounds, and she's having a coffee pop-up. Wendy was a parent in this district for a while, and very supportive of what we do here. So I'm excited about tomorrow's opening day for various reasons. Moving on, Bratz Barbecue and Back to School. I think we're good with that. Very excited about that event. Again, we'd love to see the board members that can come. I'm not going to compel you to stay from 12 to 4, but if you could, that would be great. We have a dunk tank for you to get in. Well, I thought I would hear, oh, really? But I guess not. So now I'll go and get a dunk tank. Since nobody said anything, that means I can get one, Eve. We should probably get a dunk tank. Not for me, for the board. But there is no dunk tank. But I'm sure there will be great energy level. I'll be bringing that on that Saturday. And that's Saturday, September the 6th. If you have little ones, they are welcomed. If you can just come, that would really be appreciated, just to see you and show your support. Pumpkin Fest is coming up. We've made a commitment to that. I have these here for you. This is the Pumpkin Festival. Why is the date not on there? I don't see the date on there. Can you past that, 27 years of the Pumpkin Fest and then Brats Barbecue and back to school. So just want to get you ahead, get you ready for these events that are coming up. The Pumpkin Festival is in November. And of course, I put the bond. We're going to have more conversation about that. I will be back out in the community. I've talked to people already. As I said before, I'm not making it as an excuse, but when you put those things together and then when it's over, win or lose, you're exhausted. So I was a little bit exhausted. I didn't really take a lot of time this summer. Yes, I had great time golfing this summer, but in terms of actually taking a break from Romulus Community Schools, I have not done that. But I'm excited to get the year started and thinking about the bond and what I would do differently and what suggestions I would have for you to get more involved and do things differently too. So that'll be, make sure that that's coming up. Again, tomorrow, this is our program for tomorrow's exercises. If you can make it, we'd love to see you. My entire cabinet will be there. Our president of the school board will be there. We have students involved this year. I have students doing one is the reason why they have chosen to stay in Romulus schools. And then we have a student that will be doing pretty much the closing as well. So I try to make things student-centered, and that'll be my first time having students come to the meet and greet tomorrow, or the opening exercises. I call it the meet and greet, but we'll have students there. So I'm very excited about that. And I want them to get an opportunity to see what we do outside of the school day and get to see the school board. So if you can come tomorrow, we'd love to have you. If you can't, I totally understand that. So the PD looks like this. All of our staff has that. So even if you can't make it tomorrow, I can give you a copy of this. If you'd like to pop in on Wednesday, that would be fine. Thursday is a teacher work day, so they get to work in their rooms, and then Friday they have off. So if you can't make it, feel free to come. Feel free to come and stop by the rooms. There was, at the high school, we've had some renovations that are done. They'll be done by the opening of school, and then the middle school, same thing, working on that. So if you get a chance to come by, we'd love to see you. That's pretty much it for me there. And then I have a couple of action items that I'll turn over to the president.
All right, Dr. Edmondson has 2 action items. Can someone read the first one?
Madam President and Board, the first action item is the Executive Director of Administration and Human Resources. Recommended motion move that the Board of Education approve Kevin Brock as the Executive Director of Administration/Human Resources. The rationale: the creation of an Executive Director of Administration and Human Resources position is driven by the strategic need to align the human capital function with the overall business objectives of the district and ensure the smooth and efficient operation of administrative processes. By combining human resources and administrative functions, the district aims to streamline processes, improve communication, and eliminate redundancies. This can lead to increased efficiency, reduced costs, and improved overall operational performance. In essence, the Executive Director of Administration/Human Resources act as a strategic partner to the superintendent, ensuring that the district's most valuable assets are effectively managed, developed, and aligned to drive the overall success of Romulus Community Schools. The budget implications is in the general fund, 11-283-1160-000-000-000. And in our board package, we have the exhibits and the agreement.
Support.
It's been motioned by Kennard, supported by Rogers. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President.
Yes.
I would like to just briefly address the board and the public, not getting into any semantics about what's before us. We have 2 action items. The Finance Committee did review. We had conversation, and we had extensive looking into what was before us. And we want to make it clear that this is not new money. Okay, this is a part of the budget implications that was approved at the end of the 24-25 school year. New monies, without me getting into it right now. We'll talk about that later when I talk about subcommittee reports. But I just wanted the board and the community to know that this is not new dollars. These are dollars that's already allocated, that was a part of the budget prior to. And we'll talk about internal controls at a later date. Thank you.
Treasurer Kennard.
And thank you for providing that clarity because there was a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'll take responsibility because I believe a leader, no matter what, if it happens in your organization and you take responsibility for that, I apologize if that was the case, and apparently it was the case, but that was approved in 24, moving into this year, so that would be, 25, 26. But we had prepared for this, so thank you. Thank you for recognizing that, and thank you, Trustee Kennard or Treasurer Kennard, for putting that out there to the community, because people will start whispering in a minute.
Yeah, there was a lot of concern, hesitation, concerns.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Bernard,
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Davis,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
Laster,
Yes.
motion is approved.
Oh, congratulations, Mr. Brock.
Brock?
You, please, before we read the second one. I see you have a visitor with you today.
Who's the visitor?
Yes.
This is my wonderful wife, Melanie.
Oh, welcome.
I asked her to come down and support, and obviously I didn't have to ask her. She knew this was happening this evening. I want to thank the board for the support as we continue to move this district forward, changing the narrative, moving forward. Ultimately, I'd like to thank Dr. Edmondson for recognizing what the talents that our cabinet brings to the table, and often sharing that with everybody, making sure that we feel well valued, and not just financially, but just the verbal support and also the collegial friendship that we have as well, that he has with everybody. So I want to thank you most importantly and overwhelmingly for the mentorship that you have provided, not just to me, but everybody. So I know you say that to me. You've said it to me more than once. You know, I'm not sure what I provide to you because you think I bring so much to the table, and I appreciate that. But there is a lot that you provide, not just to me, but to the support of the district, to the cabinet, and I appreciate your mentorship and collegial friendship.
Appreciate that. Got a lot of work to do. We'll continue to do it. So thank you. And honestly, to the board, in my role, I mean, I appreciate having a buffer. I mean, sometimes you have to have a buffer between you and other people. If they complain, they feel like, oh, we're the same level. It's hard when somebody's the same level as you, that when you issue a complaint, it just falls people feel that it falls on deaf ears. But there's a buffer now, and I appreciate that, having that buffer, so that people need to say anything about me or to me or whatever, or need to be evaluated. We have two sets of eyes instead of one, so I appreciate it. It's not about our friendship. We have a friendship, but I say all the time, it's really not outside of school. It tends to just be here. But I trust you, and I thank you, and feel great about having this, and I really want to say that to the board. Thank you. Just thank you for this one. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The next action item, Madam President and Board, recommended motion move that the Board of Education approve the letter of engagement with, Windemy Entertainment?
Yep, you got it. Yes.
Windemy, okay, entertainment as presented. Rationale, Windemy Entertainment emphasizes a combination of creative insight and business acumen to help individuals and companies in the education, media, and entertainment industries. Their approach to creative engagement and communication blends artistic vision and practical strategies, aiming to focus on strategic marketing and act as a collaborative creative collective to help clients navigate the entertainment landscape and achieve their goals through a holistic approach that blends creativity and business strategy. The budget implications is advertisement number 11282, 3510-001, 0000000. And in the board packet, we have the exhibit of the letter of agreement.
Support.
It's been motioned by Kennard, supported by Davis. Any discussion?
Madam President and Board, this still falls up under the brief statement that I made earlier, that this was already a part of the budget of 24-25 that was approved. There are no new dollars being allocated for this recommended motion.
Thank you, Treasurer Kennard. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Bernard,
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
Rogers is yes. Laster,
Yes.
motion is approved.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the subcommittee in particular, because it just, for whatever reason, I was like, how have we stumbled on this one? I just didn't get it. And I know that I said to members of the board, I don't know what I didn't do. I must not have done something for it not to be clear that this was not new money. So it wasn't additional money. It was every year, every school district has to do marketing, and they have to do some kind of communication to get out there. So we've been with Mr. Ellison now for, I don't know if it's 2.5 years, probably 2.5 years. He does fabulous work, doesn't nickel and dime me over stuff like, oh, we that's not in our agreement. Don't have any of that. Very proactive. When he's here, he's engaged. When he's not here, he's engaged. And yes, I do have a friendship. I have no shame about that. I have a friendship. I've known Mr. Ellison since 1989. And he's always delivered on the quality of work that he does is outstanding. And I believe that a district needs to have people that are outstanding, okay? Regardless if you're friends, that has nothing to do with anything. It's about the standard. As Mike Tomlin said at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the standard is the standard. So that's got to be the case. And I look forward to working with Wendame and Mike Ellison and all his talents. Anytime the board needs anything, please believe me, you can get it done. We can get it done in terms of marketing and networking and getting out our message to the community. So can't do that with the bond, though, just so that we know. Can't use those monies. He can have ideas with an outside company, things like that. But in terms of the bond, what Wendame could only do is produce facts. Can't push a yes vote, but can do facts. So just let you know, I really appreciate the board just in general, but I really appreciate that I can sleep now. Truly that I can sleep knowing that we put these things forward. So let's go. Thank you.
And back again, Dr. Edmondson is the interim director of the TLP team, which is Teaching, Learning, and Professional Development with an FYI.
Oh my gosh. What a savings to the district to have me doing this work. Wonderful. I'm being facetious, but I'm not, because one of the things that I had some things to discuss, and one of them is the welcome back. The welcome back is tomorrow. You don't ever have to, well, yes, you do. But tomorrow is the welcome back. If you can make it, great. If you can't, I understand that. Just for reiteration, if you want to go into a school, you give me the courtesy to let me know that so I can tell the principal to be able to welcome you. So just want to add that. I believe there are still, you all might be assigned to a building. I believe you're still assigned. It's really important. As a former teacher, when a board member would come and visit me, I was like, wow, board members here to visit me. Then I got scared instantly. Got scared, like, what are they here for? But I hope that we don't have that I hope that I don't give that energy off to you, that you're going in there spying. We're not trying to do that. But people really appreciate when you get a chance to visit them and see how they're doing and what they're doing. We all feel validated when that happens. I don't think we do it enough, but if you get an opportunity, even if it's once a month, that you just go to visit a place to which you're assigned, people really appreciate it. They feel that they can ask you questions, okay, and they can talk to you, and that you're aware of what's going on in the classroom. All these, every time that you approve our budgets, it's important that you know what that's for. So when you go in, you know exactly why we did what we did or why you approved it. You get to see it in action. So I encourage you to do that. Wednesday's not going to be as energetic from my perspective. Yes, it's important that it is PD, but just in terms of like the synergy, you'll get that tomorrow. Wednesday, everybody has to go to their assigned, staff is assigned to a particular PD. And then on Thursday, they have work in their rooms. So really you can come by then too, but they're just working in their rooms. Great time just to see what's going on. Make sure that our bulletin boards, that's what I want you to look for. When you come into school, are the bulletin boards updated? Is the school clean? Is it free of debris? These are things that you need to see. And if you don't see things that meet this high standard, then you need to let me know, because I'll jump on it. But I will be visiting buildings, but you're more than welcome the next 2 to 3 days up to Thursday to come and see the things that we're doing. That's the PD schedule. I believe I sent it out, so you should have a copy of it. I sent it out I sent it out last week, so you'll have it. In addition, we have an early release September 10th, and we also have other PD events that I put in here. I didn't want to overwhelm you. This is just for the month of September and the beginning of October, so you should have a copy of that. I wanted to also discuss briefly with you some of the district reductions. One of the things I need to share, just as a reminder, when you are a partnership school, when you're identified as a partnership school, and we have a high school that's identified as a partnership school. If you don't meet what you're supposed to do in 3 years, then there's things that you can do, as in you can remove the principal, you can reconstitute the school as something else. And there's a third one, and I don't remember I just can't recall it right now, but there are different things that you can do when you're not meeting the goals. We were in a partnership with the state from 2021's graduation rate. It was 67%, and everybody knows that's right off of COVID. You would think that a lot of schools were, but we were. Once you get that dubious distinction, then they start looking at everything else. But right now, we're still designated as a priority district because of our high school and RVLC. Those are the two. RVLC was about student achievement. So we're still on that list, and we still have things to do. It can be a dubious distinction, but it also comes with funding, which is good. So it allows you to do some of the things that you need to do. Next, I also wanted to address that we have made this year some preliminary district reductions that I think were important. I didn't give you a sheet on it. I just had them written down. Partial reduction in the director of the TLP when Dr. Gardner left, and that was $84,000. Of course, right now we're not paying for that position because that's me, and I've not asked for additional compensation, nor do I think I need additional compensation at this particular time. 2 instructional specialists that they were underneath Dr. Gardner and underneath the supervisor. Those were about $305,000 potentially. We had the supervisor of professional development. That is $153,000. One of those positions we might fill to do something, but we're not bringing out of the 3. I can promise you that there would be no additional other than potentially 1. So you do the math on that. That was $453,000 right there. Middle school teaching positions, $202,000. That's already happened. So that's about $600,000 right there. District nurse, which is potentially we discussed that. That was another $93,000. Elementary security, 5 of them, we reduced. That was $208,000. High school security, we reduced by 1.5. That's $49,000. Middle school security was 1.5. That was $48,000. The elementary building subs, we reduced by 4. That was $129,000. And secondary building subs reduced 2 of them at $64,000. So when you do the math there, that's nearly $1 million, if not over $1 million. Some of that we can discuss as needed, but I just want you to know immediately we made those reductions because I thought that they were important at this point. We did security because we needed to do security at that particular point. But then we still have our weapons detection, so when you walk in, we still have those. But we are discussing how those would be manned at the elementary school. But some principals are just discussing that there's ways that you can do that. So I just wanted to let the board know that we have made reductions at the beginning of the school. Well, carrying over this year, we've made just these in themselves, these reductions. So I feel like we're putting us in a good position with the uncertainty at the state level and federal level. We've done what we had to do, which was, as a board and superintendent, balance the budget, which we did. Now we're waiting in October for the state to do what they have to do. But we're positioned to continue moving the district forward. Listen, frankly, you don't pass a budget at the state level, they know that their positions are in jeopardy. Once you do that, people come out and they vote with their feet to do what they need to do. So I feel very comfortable at this point that we have positioned the district to be able to withstand cuts at the state and federal level. But if they do happen, I will certainly get to you immediately. You'll get an email from me just for information, and then we'll come to the board and I'll talk to you more about it. That's it.
Madam President.
Yes.
Okay, I would just like to add to that. That was one of the things that the subcommittee, the finance subcommittee discussed. And so I wouldn't have to come back when we report, because that was going to be part of it in terms of what our conversations were generated about and what we're thinking, you know, in terms of, as a board, in terms of what we need to be doing. And so that addresses some of the accountability and the transparency in terms of what is related to the board, that we should be very proactive along with working with the superintendent as we have to or may not have to. We just want to be prepared. And so I just wanted to let the board and the public know that we take this very seriously, particularly with this legislator and what may be coming down the pipeline and what's not. So we've started those conversations. We have a finance director now that's in place in terms of what we can do now versus what we weren't able to do before. We have someone that that could be working in-house now, that we could be moving forward to that. And so I just wanted to add to what Dr. Edmondson just spoke on, so when we do the subcommittee report, I don't have to come back and repeat, because that was what I was going to talk about.
So our finance director has absolutely made a difference here. I'm a little bit grieving the snacks, but we'll get over that. But it's good to have a finance. It's great to have a finance director that's here every day. I'll say that. It is great to have that. I meet with her, we talk, and then she likes to put the restrictions on her brother, but that's okay. That's important, but I'm not over budgeting. I haven't done any of that, but she just lets me know, and I appreciate that. I do trust her to be able to tell me in what direction we're headed. So thank you, and I don't have to say welcome to you, but great to have you here every day.
That's called internal controls.
Thank you, Treasurer. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So we are now at the report of board subcommittees. Before we get to the action item from the policy subcommittee, are there any other subcommittees that would like to? Oh, yeah, that's under mine. You wanna do it, yeah. In policy?
Madam President, we have a motion for 8001, acceptable use policy. Recommended motion, move that the Board of Education approve the first reading of the revised, reissued Board Policy 8001, acceptable use. Rationale is adopting an AI board policy demonstrates the district's commitment to preparing students for the future, supporting staff with guidance and training, and ensuring AI is used safely, ethically, and equitably. Establishing clear expectations today will provide a strong foundation for responsible innovation, protect the district legally, and uphold the integrity of our educational mission. Budget implication is none, and the policy is attached as an exhibit.
Support.
And motion by Rogers, supported by Davis. Any discussion? Roll call.
Rogers is yes. Davis?
Yes.
Kennard?
Yes.
Kamal?
Yes.
Laster?
Yes.
Motion is approved for the first reading.
Thank you. Before moving forward, this is not just kind of like a feeling for how you guys feel about from subcommittees that are taking notes. Would you prefer to have the notes on top of a share out at the table, or are you okay just getting the share out from the subcommittees, or how are you guys feeling?
Good with a share out.
Share out. I'm fine with that.
Okay. I just wanted to just test the waters and ask. Thank you. All right. We are now at report of the board president. I want to welcome the new staff members. Thank you for joining the team. I look forward to putting a face to some of the names that have come across. I want to congratulate Mr. Brock. You are like everywhere. You're like the cleaner, the closer, you do it all. Like, if ever I call you,
He's the accountant.
yes. Like, a little bit of the equalizer, too. Just without the violence. But whenever I need help with anything, or, like, if you offer me, like, suggestions, I take them because I know it's coming from a good place, and you always have my back when it's like, watch that face, or, you know, I need that type of stuff because I'm learning too, and I just appreciate how you're always there. You stay to the end of meetings, and you're always willing to help with whatever we need, so congratulations. I also wanted to speak to, I did send a couple of emails, and I didn't send them to the entire board because I was just trying to get, like, the not approval, but suggestions back from like Adam, and I know you're probably busy, but I was hearing what the community is saying and with the bond failing, a lot of thing is transparency, communication. So I feel like coming to you guys to ask, and we'll work through this, but a community FAQ page where people that have questions, whether they've come here and asked that public comment, Eve does a good job now of kind of going back through to make sure we're getting those questions answered, but it's something that we can let the community know. You can be directed to our page on our website that has, and I know that's a little more work for you, Adam, to make sure it's updated just a little bit. And we can talk through it. That's why I sent it out first, just to kind of see, and get ideas from the community. Like, a lot of it was, we don't know what's going on. So it's just trying to find ways to make sure that the community knows what's going on beyond the board table. I also attended a MASB training, and one of the big things that I asked for free, not on the district dollar, they had a legal up there, and I asked about our public comment form. So he did redline it for me. I'm going to send it out to the board just to show you guys what he put on there. But even asking questions, it was still First Amendment, and just like, it's such a slippery slope with public comment where it's almost, if somebody is not breaching of peace and saying just derogatory, because even if they said something to me like, you're a horrible president, you're lazy, you're never on time, and the most derogatory things, they're saying those things related to my role. So it's kind of like, you got to have the tough skin to take it. Now, if they breached and did something like that, that's a different story. But it's almost just like every time I take those classes up there, I try to get like, what's the magic wand answer? And it's really none. And some of the stuff we see here, it is directed to the work. It's just a comment. And then there's no name attached to it. So me as the president, it's tough to kind of stop the person, because honestly, what's been displayed isn't anything that should be stopped. So I'll leave that there. And I'm open to talking through whatever the community wants to bring forth. And like I said, I will get those red line public comment form to everybody so they can see it. I have a couple of other ideas. I did speak with Trustee Kamal. Is it okay if I just share a little bit of our conversation?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So I appreciate Trustee Kamal reaching out. She shared to me that she's interested in being a part of a couple of subcommittees. And I saw her in Lansing. She went to training. So she's open, she's engaging, she's learning. And so we had a little bit of just a come together of what we can do. So I'm coming up with a subcommittee that will be based off of our strategic goals, and I'm making sure that the board is checking off what we're supposed to be doing, engaging in the community. So more of that will come. And then in January, for the rest of you to know, is that's when the changes will be coming for the subcommittee meetings. But right now I'm going to keep it as is, because you guys are in the middle of projects and working on things, but in January we'll do a switch up. But the schools did change. So if you notice that some people were moved around. So thank you for taking note to that. And other than that, I'll just kind of keep my other comments. I'll send you guys out my thoughts, because I have a couple of things I want to do that engages the community. But of course, I don't want this to be the Portia show. I want engagement, your ideas, and just go forth with how can it be transparency, communication, and getting the community on board, not just for a bond, but to change the narrative like Ms. Hampton spoke to, trusting the board. Because honestly, I think some of it up here is, I heard someone say very eloquently, sins of the past. Sometimes you get locked in with what happened in the past, and that's not what we're doing now. So I just want to try to work towards changing that narrative. So that's all that I have. We'll go with communications from board members, and I'll start with Trustee Davis. Oh,
item.
see? That's why. That's why I should have did that first. I apologize, just parking like that. Thank you.
Recommended motion, move that the Board of Education authorize the superintendent to negotiate the sale of 15303 Merriman Road property as presented. Rationale, liquidate unused property, budget implications, Merriman property, sale account, purchase agreement is attached.
Support.
It's been motioned by Rogers, supported by Kennard. Any discussion? I apologize for missing that, because we definitely need to get Merriman. All right, roll call.
Rogers?
Well, you just need to know, if you haven't seen it, because you just got it. It's a company that does storage. That's what they do. They do storage. They do big storage. So that's what they're using it for. They're like, we don't foresee having to do any major changes for what they need it for, so. And we know that the money would go toward a special account, so we have that prepared as the board requested, so I just want to see it get off the books as you do. I am certain of that. Thank you.
Copy that. Roll call.
Rogers, yes. Kennard,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Kamal,
Yes.
Laster.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. All right. Trustee Davis. Trustee Kamal. Treasurer Kennard.
I would just like to welcome back all of our instructional staff for the 25-26 school year, and we hope that you had an enjoyable summer, and welcome back. And also congratulations to our Executive Director of Administration and Human Resources. Looking for great things. I know we're going to get that from you. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
I just want to welcome all the staff, teachers back for the 25-26 school year. I know it's been crazy. It's been crazy for me. Just ready to get our children back into school and learning. Thank you to Dr. E and his team for all the hard work you've done. Congratulations, Mr. Brock. So just looking forward to an awesome school year.
Thank you. Dr. Edmondson.
It was good to be able to look at the strategic plan again. I mean, just being able to put it on hold for just a small bit for me. So just re-energized. Tomorrow I'll be talking about it. It's important for the board to understand, too, how some of the decisions that we make align, not only with this, what was I talking about? I looked at him and I looked at him and I thought strategic plan. And I was like, wait, I'm not talking about the strategic plan. Yes, yes. So bottom line is this. I'm excited about this year, period. The strategic plan kind of keeps me grounded and will keep us grounded. One of the things that, if you remember, we spent, I want to say $250,000. You would have a better idea in terms of band instruments and things like that. Well, we have to get a teacher at the elementary level now that we have it. So, and that's part of the strategic plan. So some of the things that we do may not make sense to people, and if they don't, that's because we haven't focused on saying this aligns with the strategic plan, this aligns with this. So I have to do a better job up here saying that, and I have to do a better job out there. But we do have to expect that our kids in the 5th grade at some point are going to be having instruments in their hand, and that should impact our band big time. But some of the things, if we just review the strategic plan as I did, I was like, looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why we're doing that. That's why we're doing that. That's why we're doing that. Same thing, believe it or not, with the partnership agreement. You know, partnership agreement, part of it is to remove the principal. I mean, that's tough to do, but they give you 3 years. I'm not saying that was done because that wasn't done specifically about the partnership, but there are positions, there are things that I have to do that people don't like. They have to understand it's part of the job, and that's part of why you hired me to do what I'm supposed to do. And some of them may not make sense. You think I'm going to go announce why some of the things? I mean, when the state looks at you, they expect some results, and if you don't get them, they expect a response. So I can tell you, though, with the partnership, I put our goals higher. I don't want the minimum stuff that it takes the minimum to get the partnership done. I raised it, and I'm going to keep it raised because I think that's what we should do. Expectations should always be high. When I'm at this table, they should always be high, and I hope that you support that. I'm not going to aim low so we can get off some report, so I just put it at, 1% of the kids. Well, no, we're not doing all that. So I want it to be high because I think that we need to reach that. Also, everybody gets paid, everybody, and everybody should be held accountable for that. What does that mean? That doesn't mean that necessarily somebody should be fired, but there should be some conversation. I'm going to say this, and I promise I'll be home in time to watch 90 Day Fiancé Tell-All, because that's important to me today, okay? But we can't continue to blame kids in this field. It's not just here. It's in the country. It's blame the kids, blame the families. We have no control over what happens. You have no control over what happens in my house. You don't, and nor do we have control of what happens in anybody else's house. But you know what? We all should be accountable for what we do at our job, what we do. I cannot help if a student doesn't go home and do his homework. And that's why I always said, first of all, you need to understand the research about homework. Okay, I know what the research says about homework. That's why classwork should be so weighted. It should be weighted for what kids do at their in school, not at their house. It should look some kind of way. So my point is, in a district like us, and I'm going to continue to reiterate it, yes, I'd like higher achievement. I would absolutely like higher achievement. But the achievement kind of looks like an urban environment, what it does in an urban environment where there is high transience. So I need this board and this community to start focusing on growth. What do kids learn when they walk in your room and by the end of the year? And I'm going to give an example. If a student comes to me and is 2 grade levels behind, you have the community already. These kids don't learn anything. Well, whoa. Pump the brakes on that. Student came to me 2 years behind. Now at the end of the year, maybe I've moved them 1.5 years behind now. Or if you're really lucky, you'll get 1 year. It's really hard to get 1 year's growth. People don't understand that. 1 year's growth in 1 year's time is very difficult to do. But we need to start asking those questions. When you come and you visit a classroom, I'm begging you to ask the question, what is your growth target and where are you with it? We don't have to have a discussion about achievement. You can do that if you want to, but the community has got to ask the question, are they growing with that teacher? Because if they're not, then we need to do something. Are they growing? So even with me, we should focus on not just achievement naturally. You want to see the achievement numbers, but you need to ask the question, what is the growth target? What are the growth targets and what is the growth measure? Every teacher, and they're going to hear it from me tomorrow, okay? Oh, I'm not going to have a conversation with you about achievement at this point. I'm going to have a conversation about growth, okay? We're paying you. We are paying you. The best way for me to know what we're doing is when I look at your growth scores. Your growth scores are going to tell me, are you overpaid, are you underpaid, or should you not be paid at all? And people don't want to be held accountable. I'm not dogging teachers at all, but it's true. Folks don't want to be held accountable. No comments from the people in the community, please. Totally kidding. But yes, they should. But you know what? How you can do that is that you start having these conversations. It's not that you make it easy for somebody, but you have the conversation about growth. So when you are assigned, as I asked you, in the next month, please. Now, tomorrow I was prepared to do this, but I backed off. You're going to see tomorrow a quadrant. And the quadrant is 1, 2, 3, 4. High growth, high achievement. High growth, low achievement. Low growth, low achievement. And then high growth, low achievement. Every teacher that's in, it's not every teacher because the science teachers know, but math and ELA and literacy, it's out there. I was prepared to put some names. I was going to show everybody's name because I think you should be held accountable. Okay, otherwise you're not held accountable. When I take your name off, everybody has to guess. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? We'll know. I do believe that when you see my name as a low performer, I'm going to work a little bit harder because I don't want my name out there. But I didn't do that. What I did tomorrow is it's a scatter plot, but you just see the dots. You just see the dots. But I'm prepared to say, next year, there's going to be names attached to these dots because I think that is important. Everybody, listen, as a teacher, everybody should know where you fall. It is what it is. Why are we pretending? I said, I'd like to know that if there was a pilot and he or she couldn't fly that plane or got some low scores, I don't think so. I'm not going to fly JetBlue. I'm going to fly Delta this time.
Now, why you gotta say JetBlue?
Do you work for JetBlue? Well, you used to. Maybe you saw the same thing. You used to. But my point is, I need the board, and I will work with you. Let's start talking about growth. Let's start talking about growth. And please, I know sometimes there's pressure when people in the community might be talking to your constituents. It's not easy to put people's name out, but sometimes I think it is important to show. Everybody should. I get held responsible for everybody's results when I'm sitting at my evaluation meeting. It's the first thing you all look at. We do look at growth, which is important. Okay, but if it happens to me, I think everybody should be accountable. When you have 1 year of employment with a school district, everybody should be able to ask you, what is your growth? If it's not posted outside the window or the door, then you should at least be able to know what your growth score is. Treasurer.
I just have a
I'm
quick
good.
question. Do you have a list that you could provide them by curriculum and let them know within,
Would you, oh,
that you could give to them?
are you,
so that they can receive them?
absolutely, I have that, absolutely. But I have not put it in individual form, excuse me. I thought about putting it in individual form where you get a letter from the superintendent, says where you fall.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that, I just haven't had the time to do it, but I absolutely got the list. We took the names off and I have the list, and everybody needs to know that I know. Most importantly, you need to know that I know. You're not gonna hide. So I will take that and I'm gonna run with it. Okay, by the end of September, I will have those out to each individual to say how they did at the end of last year. It's 6:55. I'm excited.
Support. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good evening.
Good night.
I know I'm still on the camera
I use that,